What up? It is Bones. And in this one, we're going to take a look at my custom Joker Arthur Fleck figure based on the 2019 film starring Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro. Now, I have been working on this for a couple of months. Let's get into how I built this. That would be by using the Mattel Multiverse Two-Face. Of course, originally he came with two guns and the parts to Clayface. Now, I chose that particular figure because of the color of his jacket and his sleeves. Now, the other figure I used to make this was the Mattel DC Multiverse signature Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight. Now, that figure did come with its own stand and like some pegs that you could move around to whatever position you want the figure to stand in, and that came out working perfectly for this figure because it just says the Joker on the front. Now, it was really a pain to get the arms switched over from the Two-Face figure to the Heath Ledger figure. That basically was the hardest part. Now, I have had this for a while with the top finished. I just had to do work on the lower body, and I did a little bit of changes to the face paint, but basically I've had it halfway done for a while. Another thing I added was I added some accessories, which was a little cigarette. I made this, I think I got a piece of like some random Wonder Woman rope fodder, and I cut like the straightest piece that there was, and I ended up shaping the tip, and then I painted it with white and red for the amber from the cigarette. And also I picked up a gun that was actually silver, but it fit perfectly. It was a revolver, and it fit perfectly the scaling to this Joker. And the major part that I hadn't done was the lower body, which was the legs. They were still the same color as the Heath Ledger figure. Now, it actually took me a while and a lot of coats of paint to get the lower half the exact color that I wanted. And I basically do this by just putting like a light coat and letting it dry, and then adding a little bit more. You can't move too fast. You have to go ahead and let it dry as long as you can, maybe a couple hours, maybe even a whole day, and then come back and put the next coat, which is basically how I did this. But it ended up matching like really perfectly the color of the jacket and the sleeves, so that was not an issue. The issue was that the joints were the hardest part. So I just added a really thin coat and then moved them around and made sure there wasn't any rubbing. And if there is rubbing, I do have I could either sand it, or I have the Dremel tool to go ahead and take a little bit off. But finally I got it to where you could bend the knees and it would not have any paint rubbing, which is what you want when you're customizing. You want to be able to still articulate the figure and move the figure around. Now, Surprisingly, the biggest the biggest accomplishment for me, or like my favorite part of this whole project, was the cigarette looks cool. The gun fits perfectly, fits right in his hand, and it looks movie accurate. The face paint, I got it just right. Little bit, one thing I might change, but basically it's gonna stay like this. But the yellowing from the vest under the jacket came out really sweet. The green, I could have removed the tie, but you can't really see it, so I just went ahead and omitted that part and just painted it all green. Uh, Came out looking really sweet, but like I said, the main thing, which would be kind of funny that people would trip out of like why this is my favorite part, I really liked the shoes. Now, the shoes were a whole different thing because I could have just left them black or painted them any color, but I actually looked up the shoes that were used in the film, and I ended up matching them like perfectly. They just came out like they look, you know, really movie accurate, and I added actually some gloss to the toe, like the toe caps and then the heels so that it shines a little bit. But it just really came out. I really enjoy the way the shoes came out. Really awesome. Now he does have a little bit of blue, like where the hinge is at his ankle, but I don't know why. I like how it looks. I kind of left it because it's like he has socks or something like that, and they don't match his getup, which is like kind of like a little quirky thing that I liked about it. So I'm gonna leave them like that for now. I could always paint them in black or just, you know, a white or whatever, but I like them the way they look, and I actually really like the way this figure came out. So he has his stand. Like I say, these pegs, you could move them around to whatever like configuration you want to the way you want him standing. You could either have his feet together or just put one peg and only have 1 foot pegged. Right now I have him with both feet pegged, but really happy with him. Finally, I'm done with this project. I have actually shown this before in like another video, but he wasn't like completely done like the way he is now. The cigarette came out really nice. The way the trigger fingers were on both his hands really came in useful because this one's a gun and then this one's like just holding a cigarette. Um, awesome. Now, actually, making this, finishing up this project, I actually rewatched the Joker again, like for inspiration while I was painting it and just sitting here in my office. Really good movie, really like intense, and has a little bit of slow burn to it, but even that like builds up the suspense and builds up the tension. And when he finally turns and becomes like stops being like the bullied, shy Arthur Fleck character, and he like starts heading towards more like the Joker. Like when he walks to the elevator after murdering that guy that tried to burn him when he sold him the gun, um, you could just see like his swagger changes, and that's where he really starts to like, you know, come into his own. And then he does the dance down the stairs. An awesome movie up until the end where they're like rioting, and he gets arrested after he kills uh, Murray. It's just a great movie. Of course, it's kind of dark and it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it fits right perfect with me. Really good movie. Check it out again if you haven't watched it in a while. I really enjoyed it. But anyways, guys, that is my custom Arthur Fleck Joker figure. Even if you look for these online, like look up custom Joker figures, there's rarely ever really one, and then a lot of them don't really look, you know, movie accurate. But that's what I pride myself on is getting it like as close as I can to the movie. If I could ever find like a little like the clown plastic clown mask that he wears, I'll probably add that to this, like have it, you know, hanging on his arm, or like have it down on the floor, but you know, just to add a little panache to it. But I'm really happy with the way it came out. So for right now, I'm done with this. I could go ahead and put him up somewhere on the shelf where that's going to be his home for now. And I'll move on to the next project. So anyways, guys, awesome to be done with this Joker figure. Ready to move on to my next project, and hope everybody's safe out there. See you on the next one.